ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Good morning, welcome back. So let us continue with atomic structure. Today we are going to study the shapes of orbitals. So from the Schrodinger wave equation, when you solve the Schrodinger wave equation, you will get different sets of solution. From the first group of solution for psi and psi square, it is found that the probability of finding electron, that is psi and psi square, depends upon distance from the nucleus. Depends upon distance from the nucleus. Let us consider this as nucleus. So I am taking some fixed distance, let us call this as r, distance from the nucleus. So if I draw the same distance in any direction and if I join all these points, what I will get is I will get a spherical shape. Once again, in the first set of solution, psi and psi square, which are assumed to represent the probability of finding electron, are found to depend upon distance only. This distance is same in all the direction, which result in, suppose if I consider this as a nucleus, you can take the distance in any direction, in all the direction, which results in a spherical and symmetrical sphere. So this spherical shape ball, we call it as S subshell. S subshell is spherically symmetrical in all direction. That means it only depends upon one factor, that is distance from the nucleus, doesn't depend upon the direction, in all directions. Therefore it is non-directional. It is non-directional. The size of this S subshell depends upon n value, that is principal quantum number. So if I take for 1s and 2s, the size of 2s is greater than the size of 1s. The size of 2s is greater than size of 1s. So once again, the wave function is found to depend upon only one variable, that is distance from the nucleus. Coming to the next one, that is P subshell. Here the wave function is found to depend upon two factors. One is distance from the nucleus and one direction in the space. The probability wave function depends upon distance as well as one direction in the space. So because of these directional properties, here you will get two lobes orienting in a particular direction. The lobes orienting in a particular direction. So if I call this as x-axis, this is called px orbital. Now this is, if I consider y-axis, this is called py orbital. Z-axis is Z orbital. The two lobes, they represents the space, the volume of the space where there is electron density, probability of finding electron density, right? Now coming to D subshell, the psi value is found to depend upon distance and two directions. One distance and two directions. So because of two direction, you will get two lobes, right? So here you will get 5 different d orbitals, because m value there are 5 different orientations. For 3 d orbitals, the lobes orient in between the axis. So they are nothing but dxy, dxz, dyz. So if this is xy axis, then this is dxy orbital. If this is xz axis, then it is dxz. If this is yz axis, then it is dyz. For these three orbitals, the lobes orient in between the axes. Coming to the next one, that is dx square minus y square. Here the lobes orient along the axis. And the last one is dz square. Here you will get a sphere like a donut. So the lobes represents, they are directional. Whether you take p orbital or d orbital, they are directional because the lobes orient in a particular direction, right? So both of these are directional. S orbital is non-directional. Here p orbital is triply degenerate. The three p orbitals for a given n value will have same energy. Here they are five-fold degenerate. The 5 d orbitals have same energy, right? So these are the points regarding the shapes of orbitals. Spherical S, dumbbell, P represents principal, D represents dimension, F represents fundamental. Now coming to the radial probability function. So in the last class we have studied that the wave function can be expressed as the product of two different functions, that is radial probability function and angular probability function. So today we are going to study radial probability distribution curves. So what is this radial probability distribution? The radial probability distribution, it gives the probability of finding electron in the volume of space around the nucleus. So what is the meaning of this and how they arrived at the different equations? Let us see. So initially they assume that psi n comma L gives the radial probability, that is probability of finding the electrons at a particular distance from the nucleus. So it is assumed to be represented like this: psi n comma L, or in polar coordinates r n comma L. N and L principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, right? So for example, for 1s orbital, n equal to 1, L equal to 0. So psi n comma L is nothing but psi 1 comma 0. Similarly for 2s orbital, n equal to 2, L equal to 0. So psi 2 comma 0 or r 2 comma 0. So a graph is plotted. Now we are assuming that psi n comma L value gives the probability of finding electron. So it represents the probability function. Its value gives the probability of finding electron. A graph is plotted between psi n comma L versus r. Now what is this r? Distance from the nucleus. So each orbital has a different equation for psi. Those equations we study in quantum mechanics, but here we study the nature of the graph. So if you plot the graph by solving the equation for 1s, that is 1 comma 0 and r. So this point is the nucleus. So if I move from this point to in this direction, right, the distance from the nucleus increases, that is represented by r. So when you solve the equation and plot the graph, this is the nature of the graph obtained for 1s orbital, and this is the nature of the graph obtained for 2s orbital, for 2s orbital, for 3s orbital. Right. So if psi n comma l gives the probability, let us see, try to understand whether you will get or not. So from the first graph, psi n comma l is maximum. Where do you have maximum value from this graph? So if I extrapolate this graph, this line intersect y-axis at r equal to 0. So psi 1 comma 0 or n comma l is maximum at r equal to 0. What is r equal to 0? It represents nucleus. So from this graph we can conclude that there is maximum probability of finding electron at the nucleus, which is not correct. That means psi n comma l doesn't give the probability function, doesn't represent the probability function, because it shows that there is maximum probability of finding electron at r equal to 0, which is incorrect. You cannot find electron at the nucleus. And if I continue further, in 2s and 3s, psi value is maximum at r equal to 0. They give the same indication. Apart from that, you can see these lines below x-axis. It indicates that psi n comma l is negative. That means the probability of finding electron is negative, but probability cannot be negative. Because of these two reasons, it is rejected that psi n comma l only gives the probability of finding electron. To eliminate this negative value, what they propose is, instead of taking psi value, they have plotted a graph by taking psi square value. So next they assume that psi square n comma l gives the probability, hence they plotted a graph between psi square n comma l versus r. The first graph is similar for 1s orbital. For 2s, this is the graph. For 3s, so if I compare the first graph, second graph, the first point, that is the maximum value for psi square is again at r equal to 0, is maximum at r equal to 0. What is the meaning of this? Same thing, that there is maximum probability of finding electron at nucleus, which is not correct. But the advantage, one advantage over the previous one is, here the probability values are not negative because we are taking psi square. But anyway, from these two graphs we can conclude that neither psi n comma l nor psi square gives the probability of finding electron. Now, to explain the probability function, what they have done is, the space around the nucleus, if I consider this nucleus, the space around the nucleus, they divided into, they assume that it can be divided into number of concentric shells. To understand this, take a onion and cut into half. So you can see different layers, right? These layers have a common center. Right. In a similar way, the space around the nucleus can be divided into large number of concentric spheres with a thickness dr. Right. The best example is cut the onion in the middle, and you can see there are number of layers with common center. So here also we are assuming that the space around the sphere can be divided into number of concentric spheres with a thickness of dr. So let us consider one such small shell with a radius r. This is the inner sphere with radius r, and say this is the outer sphere. Just for our understanding, I am drawing it in a larger size. So this is like a piece of onion. The outer sphere, the thickness we are assuming it as dr. So this thickness is dr. So if this is r, then the radius of the outer sphere must be r plus dr. So you can see the thickness, this thickness, right? It has a volume dv. So let us find the volume of this sphere. Sphere or shell dV. So what is the volume of this shell? Larger volume minus smaller volume sphere. So what is the volume of larger sphere? That is 4 by 3 pi r plus dr whole cube minus volume of the inner sphere, that is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So what I can do here is I can take 4 by 3 pi common. This is r cube dr cube 3r square dr 3r dr square minus r cube. So I can cancel r cube. Now dr is small, very small. If dr is small, very small, then I can neglect dr square and dr cube. So if I neglect dr square, this one, and dr cube, this one, left over term is 3r square dr. This 3 can be cancelled. 4 by 3 pi 3r square dr. So 3 cancel, left over is 4 pi r square dr. Now they proposed that the radial probability is given by radial probability is given by the product of these two, that is psi square n comma L into dV, this dV. So if I substitute here, what I will get, 4 pi r square dr psi square n comma L, or 4 pi r square dr r square n comma L. So this entire thing let us call as D, distribution curve D. So when this graph is plotted, D versus R, for 1s the graph is like this. Right. So what is the meaning of this? This is the area. The area under the curve represent the probability of finding electrons. So as you can see, if I start from here, that is nucleus. If I start from the nucleus, the probability of finding electron at the nucleus is 0. As I move from the nucleus, that means as R value increases, the probability of finding electron increases, because the area represents the electron density. See, the electron can be found anywhere between this point and this point. What is this point? This is nothing but infinity. It can be up to infinity. Infinity means where there is no nuclear attraction. That is the point. So there is no possibility of finding electron at r equal to 0 and r equal to infinity. Between these two, there is always some probability of finding electron, right? So if I move from the nucleus, the probability is increasing, reaches a maximum value. This is the maximum probability. The maximum probability is found at a distance of 0.529 angstrom units. What is this 0.529 angstrom units? This is nothing but Bohr's Bohr's orbit for hydrogen atom, first Bohr orbit. So it explains Bohr concept. What Bohr has proposed, you can always find an electron at a distance of 0.529 angstrom units in the first orbital of hydrogen atom. This is what we are getting. But what Schrödinger said, there is always some probability of finding electron between 0 and infinity, and there is maximum probability of finding electron at a distance of 0.529 angstrom units. So Schrödinger says that there is always some probability of finding electron between 0 and infinity. At 0 and infinity, the probability of finding electron is 0. They are called as nodes. Radial nodes are simply nodes. If I draw it for 2s orbital, So for this, we can assume the sphere like this, and nucleus is present here. There are no nodes, so electron is distributed throughout the atom. But electron cloud, always some probability, therefore the electron can be found anywhere except at the nucleus. So x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Now coming to 2s orbital. 2s orbital, so 2s orbital, this is r equal to 0, this is 0.8 times of a naught, this value is considered as a naught. 0.529 angstrom is considered as a naught, this is 0.8 a naught, this is 2 a naught. Now this is 5 times of a naught, this is infinity. I repeat, this point is 0. You can see two peaks, this is first peak, this is second peak. It has two maximas, this is called lower maxima. Lower maxima is at a distance of 0.8 times of a naught, where a naught is 0.529. Bohr orbit, first r1h radius we considered it as constant and taken as a naught. Now here again you will get a point intersecting on the x-axis represent nucleus at a distance of 2 a naught, and it increases, and this is the maximum probability of finding electron at a distance of 5 times of a naught, and here this is the last point, that is infinity. So what is the meaning of this? So same as this, the d is 0, that means at r equal to 0, at r equal to 2r or 2a naught, and r equal to infinity. That means d represents what? Probability of finding electron. The probability of finding electron is 0 at nucleus this point, and 2a naught and infinity. So what is the meaning of this is, there are two concentric spheres. So the electron density is represented with this black color. So this is the lower one at a distance of 0.8 a naught. This is the minimum, lower maximum. D has two maximas points, lower maxima H r equal to 0.8 a naught, and higher maxima at r equal to 5 times of a naught. So this is for 1s and 2s. So in 2s there are two shells, two concentric shells, right, one overlapped into other. Similarly you can draw for 2p, 3s also. Here there are three nodes. Here you have two nodes, 1, 2, but r equal to 0, r equal to infinity. These nodes are common for all orbitals, hence they are excluded. If I exclude these two, there are no nodes. What is a node? It is a space or point where the probability of finding electron is 0. If I exclude these two, there is no node for 1s. When I come to 2s, if I don't exclude, there are three nodes, r equal to 0, 2a naught, infinity. At this point the probability of finding electron is 0. But since r equal to 0, r equal to infinity is common for all the orbitals, therefore they are excluded. If I exclude these two, there is only one node. The one node is nothing but this white space. The probability of finding electron is 0. So 2s has one node. So let us see how to calculate nodal planes. So node or radial node. It is a point or space, right, in the around the nucleus where the probability of finding electron becomes 0, right. So how do you find number of radial nodes? Number of radial nodes is equal to n minus L minus 1. N is principal quantum number, L is azimuthal quantum number, 1 is constant. So let us apply for first ns orbital. For any ns orbital, L equals to 0. So substituting here number of radial nodes for ns orbital, n minus 0 minus 1, you will get n minus 1. So if I apply for 1s orbital, substitute 1 minus 1 is 0. So for 1s orbital there is no radial node. Remember we have excluded two nodes, that is r equal to 0, r equal to infinity, as they are common for all orbitals. For 2s orbital, n equal to 2, n value is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. I have shown. For 3s orbital, what is n value for 3s orbital? 3 minus 1 equal to 2. So let us apply for p orbital. For np orbital, L equal to 1. Therefore number of radial nodes, right, I have to substitute L equal to 1, n minus 1 minus 1, n minus 1 minus 1, that is n minus 2. So np orbital has n minus 2 radial nodes. So let us apply for 2p orbital. For 2p orbital, n value is 2. So what I will get? 2 minus 2 is 0. For 3p orbital, what is n value? 3. 3 minus 2, that is 1. For 4p orbital, n equal to 4. 4 minus 2, 2 radial nodes. Similarly for d orbital, let us find. For nd orbitals, L equal to so if L equal to 2, substituting here, number of radial nodes equal to n minus 2 minus 1, that is nothing but n minus 3 radial nodes. So let us substitute in some examples. For 3d orbital, what is n value? 3. 3 minus 3, 0. For 4d orbital, what is n value for 4d orbital? 4. 4 minus 3, you will get 1. For 5d orbital, 5 minus 3, 2. So this is about radial node. It is the point where the probability of finding electron is 0. Coming to nodes, nodal planes or angular nodes. So it is the plane passing through the orbital. In which the probability of finding electron is 0. A plane passing through the orbital in which the probability of finding electron is 0. So number of angular nodes or nodal planes, that is using nodal planes. Equal to azimuthal quantum number. Number of nodal planes equal to L, that is nothing but azimuthal quantum number. For ns orbital, L equals to 0. That means for any s orbital there is no nodal plane. Let us see why. So if I draw the s orbital, it is spherical and symmetrical in all directions. If I draw any plane, it passes through a point where there is some probability of finding electron. We are talking about plane, we are not talking about point. A plane, when I draw through s orbital, any ns orbital, so the plane always passes through a point where there is some probability of finding electron. Therefore, there is no nodal plane for ns orbital. Coming to p orbital. For np orbital. So what is azimuthal quantum number for p orbital? L equal to 1. N equal to 1. So px orbital. What is the shape of px orbital? The lobes orient along x-axis. The lobes orient along x-axis. So the lobes orient along x-axis. So if I consider this yz plane, if I consider yz plane, if I consider this yz plane, this plane passes through the orbital where the probability of finding electron is 0. For px orbital, the nodal plane is yz plane. Similarly, for py orbital, what will be the nodal plane? Here the lobes orient along y axis, therefore xz plane. Similarly for pz, in pz the lobes orient along z axis, therefore xy plane is the nodal plane. So each p orbital has one nodal plane, px yz plane, py xz plane, pz xy plane. So these are nodal planes. In the case of Py, I can assume this as y orbital, then this will be xz. In the case of Pz, I can assume this axis as z orbital, then this will be xy axis. That is how you have to understand. Next, for d orbitals, for d orbitals, what is L value? L value equal to 2. Now let us say, in the case of dx dy, the lobes orient in between the axes. dxy, dyz, dxz. So if I consider dxy, this is x and y axis, x and y axis. You can imagine some z axis here, this is z axis, then the lobes orient in between x and y axis. If I consider this as z axis, the xz plane and yz plane, they don't have any lobes, xz, yz. So for dxy, the nodal planes are zx and zy plane. Similarly, if I assume this as yz plane, now the lobes orient in between y and z axis. Now this becomes x axis. xy plane and xz plane don't have the lobes, therefore they will be the nodal plane. And here you can guess it, that is yx and yz will be the nodal plane. So each d orbital has two nodal planes. Coming to dx square and y square, here the lobes orient along the axis. The lobes orient along the axis. So if I consider this as x and y axis, then here we have to consider a plane at an angle of 45 degrees to y axis and a plane at an angle of 45 degrees to x axis. Two planes at an angle of 45 degrees to y axis and at an angle of 45 degrees to y axis. These two planes, right, they don't have any lobes, hence they are considered as nodal plane. Planes at an angle of 45 degrees to x y axis respectively, they are considered as nodal planes because they don't possess any part of the lobe. Lobe is nothing but the space or volume where there is probability of finding electron. So imagine this is the lobe. You have to consider this plane at an angle of 45 degrees. In this space, in this plane, the lobes do not fall. Therefore, in this plane, there is no probability of finding electron. Similarly, you have to take an angle, a plane that is at an angle of 45 degrees to x axis. The last one is dz square. So if you see the shape of dz square, so there is a conical sphere like this. Because of this conical sphere, if I draw any plane, it passes through this conical sphere where there is some probability of finding electrons. So it doesn't have any nodal planes, but it has nodal cones. This area, the red color area, it has two nodal cones. No nodal planes, but two nodal cones. In this area, right, this area, the probability of finding electron becomes 0. So dz square orbital has no nodal planes but it has nodal cones.